those of you who haven't seen me work before, why not? You will find I work probably slightly different to most mediums. I'll just give you what I get, okay? So hopefully it makes sense to you. Okay, because it's just a case of getting straight on with it now, okay? The way I work is I'm an evidential medium, okay? I don't really deal in the fluffy, okay? If anyone who wants fluffy, you've came to the wrong house, because I don't do that, okay? To me, I'll give you evidence. My whole purpose is to give you proof of life after death. That's what it's all about, okay, to me. To make sure that you understand that connection with your loved ones is still around you. That's my sole purpose. If you enjoy this evening, like me on Facebook. If you don't enjoy this evening, still like me on Facebook. Okay? It helps. Okay? So hopefully you do all enjoy yourself. Okay? I don't mind a little bit of humour. I don't personally need to hear yes, no's or maybes. Okay? One thing which I'm quite strict about is I'm a medium. I need to hear your loved ones' voices. That's it. Okay? If you need to speak to me, do you like? You probably won't get a word in edgeways, but it's always worth trying. Okay? But most importantly, sit, relax, and enjoy being surrounded in the energy of spirit, okay? And if you don't receive a message this evening, it doesn't mean your loved ones aren't with you. It just means I haven't been drawn to connect with you this evening, okay? Anyone who has seen me before, I look more homeless by the time I finish. So, probably why I don't get invited back to many churches, really. But it's all about that connection with me, okay? I try to make sure I'm giving you what you're needing, okay? Before I actually do start, I just need a couple of seconds of silence just whilst I connect with my guide team and allow them to work with me. Okay. Right, the next person coming through, I do have a gentleman's energy stepping forward at this time. As he comes forward, he's showing, I'm feeling my energy being pulled downwards. So I know with himself, I'm around sort of 5'8", 5'9" height-wise. I'm also aware of the nervousness around him. He points out that there's an issue with one of his legs as well. So I know that there's an issue with one of his legs towards the end. He mentions the fact that it's not necessarily the illness which takes him over. It seems to be the stress of the illness which takes him over. The fact I'm sort of looking in certain directions is usually a sign of where I'm roughly going to be going in a minute. Okay, but he just brings this forward to just say that he's around, he's doing what he can. He does mention the fact that even though he has stomach problems, he mentions someone else had stomach ulcers. So I'm aware of someone in the family having stomach ulcers, or they would be suffering that pain within inside the stomach at the moment. Okay, who does this make sense with first of all? Tumbleweed one. Right, okay. That makes sense to you. Okay. You should understand where I've got a H initial linked to a gentleman's spirit side. Okay. You should also understand where they're talking about someone who just crosses into the new year prior to them passing. Okay. So it's been just inside the new year. So it's going to be early January. Okay. By the time I'm passing. They would also understand where there's a connection to horses within inside the family as well. You can understand it now. I weren't even looking in that direction. Right. We've all pointed out I'm now cross-eyed. Right. Okay. If you don't mind me working with yourself. Okay. Because they wanted to just. They sometimes just like to bring through loads of information, okay? They talk about someone who's had difficulty around their pelvis, their hips area, okay? That's something which is more been diagnosed recently around someone, and it feels like some sort of dysplasia or something of that description. They also talk about where someone's been struggling with their knees to do with growing as well, okay? So this would be little one. Well, I'm going to ignore you and talk to the little ones, right, okay. But as they're coming forward, other than the fact that they're pointing out that everyone should be aware of them when they're around, they talk about at the time of the funeral, one car was late, okay. They're also talking about that one car went to the wrong place, and they're talking about the fact that all the flowers ended up somewhere else in the end, okay? Because everything just seemed like it was so jumbled up. They mentioned the name Marty, Martin, that type of name coming forward. They also mentioned someone who has a breast cancer scare inside the family. They also mentioned where a tattoo is placed onto the right arm to do with a memory of somebody, now spirit side. If you have a look at that, they should have had the date wrong. Okay, right. So if you have a look on that, that's one bit of giant proof you can have there, is the fact that if you have a look at the date which was printed in ink, the date is wrong to the actual date it should have been. Right. The main reason for coming forward is not to tell you that things need changing. It's a case that around yourself at the moment, you've been trying to work out where it is you're meant to be going, what it is you're meant to be achieving. Half of your time seems to be trying to help someone else who's around yourself at the moment. They talk about where you've been trying to give a friend advice, yet it seems to be falling on deaf ears. They mention the name David, which also connects around you. They also mention that not just is someone suffering in the back, because it's actually more of a sciatic condition rather than a back condition, and they're throwing the pains down my legs, okay? So just be aware that that's also present. Where they're bringing all this forward, it's one just to let you know that they're here. The other thing is someone's got this crazy, I know I like country music, but they're talking about someone's got this crazy fascination with country music, right? Okay? Even to the point, they seem to have the hat, okay? Right, okay, as long as you take that photo, right? Because they just keep showing me this hat and go, what the heck do you look like? Okay, right. Headed for church standing, right? Okay, but they're just mentioning that. But they're also sort of saying that at the time they pass spiritual, and I have to say they. Okay, the main reason I'm saying they is because after one person passes, within 6 months, someone else takes their transition. Okay, and it's passing of a broken heart. Okay, which is in a spiritualist term is the most romantic thing you can get, where one person leaves and the other one goes, I need to join. Okay, and they're just saying that that's the way they've done it. They mention something being not a tree being planted, but something being planted round the tree. Yeah, cool. Okay, because they even show me there should be a crystal there. Okay, because when spirits show you crystals and stuff like that, they show you the energy of them, and because they show me the energy of it, you should understand it having a blue colour to it. Right. You will also find that it connects to someone's birthstone. Good, okay? Right. Right. Okay. So as they're bringing that forward, it's more just to let you know they're there. They also mention at the time the person got the most poorly was at the time someone else inside the family was going through something which they couldn't emotionally cope with. So at the time this happens, there was a physical altercation within inside the family itself. Because there's one reason only this hand's hanging around up here, okay? There was something which happened, okay? But they're just letting you know, it doesn't matter. They also talk about where someone got that sozzled at the wake that they either fell over and then bruised all the way down here, or you should understand where I'm going with it. I'll leave that bit there, yeah? Right, okay. But Spirit just want everyone to be happy. And especially with yourself at this moment, you've been looking for the right decisions to be making. Someone talked about having a tattoo placed down here. And they said that decision was the wrong one, okay? You didn't have it done, did you? Right, okay, cool. But they're just talking about that, okay? They mentioned the name Lisa as well, so I know I've got a Lisa name connecting around. I've also got an Emma connecting with inside the family unit, okay? But with inside your own home, at this moment, if you look, it must be under a bed or under somewhere like that. There's either a photo album been placed underneath a bed, underneath a sofa, or something of that description, yeah? Okay, where you open the front cover on this, sorry, other than the fact it's got someone's handwriting on the front, when you open it up, there's either a letter or there's something which has been written there, yeah? I don't think you need me to read out the whole letter for you, do you? No, okay, right, yeah. But that's just Spirit's way just to prove that they're around you. So I will leave their love and leave their respect with you. I don't get out much, so this is sort of like my hobby. Right. Okay. Who's got a bit of jewellery or something connected to someone's spirit side? I've already worked with you. I'm leaving the rostrum, right? I'm going to get so shocked leaving the rostrum. No? Okay. What you got?
I've got a ring.
I'll wait for you. Don't worry, you get back. This is valuable. I'll be back. Oh, is it? When I eat too much, my belly wobbled when I was trying to run. So I'm well out of shape, right? Right. This bit's going to be working on psychometry, okay? One thing to actually point out to everyone, psychometry is not mediumship. Everyone's going to go, right. It's only when spirit anchor in, that it then becomes mediumship, okay? That was just a little bit of Advice for people? Everyone's going, don't really care, just get on with it. Right. Okay, first thing I'm actually sort of picking up from this is more to do with the emotions which link around, okay? Not just this one aspect to do with this person, but it feels to do with the emotions which are going on around yourself also. I'm aware that they seem very much like this towards the end, and I know that they were suffering pains within inside their hands, also an arthritic condition which seems to be building up, but I'm also being drawn to the fact of this great kindness which laid within inside their voice. Because it's not just like I'm losing part of a family, I feel I'm losing part of a friendship as well. Okay, so I'm just feeling that. I'm also being drawn down to my stomach and made aware that things aren't quite right down there also, okay? But I'm aware with my legs that my legs feel very, very heavy in the way that they're coming forward. As they're just about to anchor in, this is where I pass out, right? I'm being drawn specifically to the month of June, so I know that I've got awareness into the month of June. I'm also then being made aware of not just a few arguments which have gone on around recently, but this feeling that you've really needed to be speaking your mind, really finding your truth, okay? So just be aware of that. I'm also then being drawn into the September. I know around towards the end of September, around the 26th, 27th, I've also got a connection linking around that point. So as they're coming forward, I do have this great love, okay? And in a way it feels more like a mother's love. That's how they come across, because it's this great strength, they sort of welcome you into this warmth, okay? And this is just how they come across. But it's like that sadness just destroys the family in so many ways, because it's not on the physical, but more on the emotional, which everyone still had this time to struggle to try and get past, okay? Even to the point of people from outside families trying to help or trying to aid or something of that description, so just be aware of that also. But their main thing is just to point out that they're coming through with great love and great remembrance to you, okay? Because even at this point I'm stood on now, I feel it's still a sad day, okay? So just be aware around, not this time for a birthday, but it seems to be a difficult month for everybody, okay? So I'm aware that it'd be, just as we're coming up to the Christmas time, I'm being drawn to birthdays or celebrations around that time. And one thing you will have to ask in the family is to wear one present was left on. And I'll bring the money back. If you can't take it, just run me down afterwards, right? And keep it. Oh, wait. That's like walking down to the tube station. Always go try and find the Piccadilly line and end up on the district line. I find it funny, so it don't really matter if anyone else does. Right, okay. I need to speak to someone who's either Elizabeth or got the connection to Bethany. Okay? Who do I connect to? None yet. Right, I'll go on. Okay. Right, they told me I need to speak to either Elizabeth or Bethany, okay, as they were bringing that through. There should be a Lee or a Liam with inside the family. Who am I with? That'll be the bloke who then walked out of the room then about 10 minutes.
Yeah, probably.
I felt like saying when they were walking out, hang on a minute, I'll be with you in a second. Right. Bit late, right. Okay. What I'm going to do is just clear that energy away then, so we'll deal with that. I'm just making sure I'm in the right place, okay? Because she's referring to when someone's having either damage has been caused with inside their kitchen, or you should understand someone who's having a kitchen replaced, fitted, something like that. Because I'm seeing either tiles off the wall, those type of things. She's not stating whether it was in her house or whether it be in your own, okay? I don't believe it to be in your own, okay? But would that make sense to you?
No.
Okay. Would you understand that she went into a nursing home for 3 months prior to her passing?
No.
Okay, definitely not you. There's also the name Pearl connecting with inside the family, or with inside the connection I need to be speaking to. And the name Jazz or Jasmine. Who am I connecting to it?
I can take some of it.
Hang on, right, I'll be with you in a second. Lonely out there. No one talks to you. Right. I don't get out much. Right. What bit we at?
Ellen, she left me a ring. She did have a walking stick. She wasn't in a nursing home. I ran my kitchen, I walked my kitchen down, and I live in Jasmine Court.
That'll do. Right, okay. And you should know know who Rob or Robert is here? Or Bob?
I know a Bob.
Okay. Let's check. Right, okay. Don't mind me working with you, dear?
No.
You just hesitate. Well, I've got to be out of here in about 10 minutes. Make it quick. Right.
It's getting me money back.
Right, don't mind me working with you there, because every now and again, sometimes they'll come through in a very cryptic way, okay? And this was the way they were anyway. They weren't someone who was the most straightforward person in life, okay? They were also very much aware of what everyone else was up to. Yeah. I don't want to say that they were nosy at the same point as saying they were, okay? Yeah. Because it's a case of they just wanted to see what everyone else was going on about, trying to understand what was going on. They didn't have this connection to the technological age, okay? I kept being drawn to 2 cats, and I was thinking, I don't even know where the cats come from. From mum and cats, right? But they're just, I did say I find me funny, right? Okay, but where they're referring to that, they also then bring a gentleman through, okay? And it seems to be the gentleman who's most in need to come through around yourself at this moment, okay? He talks about that you've been trying to find the right words, you've been trying to really bring that together, bring the thoughts up, trying to really, that everything seems to be affecting your heart and your emotions all at the same time at the moment, and you're getting a little bit jumbled, okay? They also talk about Mark or Martin, that type of name around you, okay? So that's coming forward. But where they were referring to the kitchen, it's not necessarily what needs doing in it. It's like even windows and that are sticky, and it's like I can't hardly breathe in there. It's like the ventilation's done. Okay, it's their way of just showing you that they've been around. They also draw me with inside your home, and you would understand when you've been looking for a specific photo recently, but you haven't been able to find it. Okay, if you actually look behind your bedroom unit, okay, there should have been 2 units, but now I'm only seeing 1, so not sure what that's about. You must have got rid of one recently, okay? But where they're showing me the 1, I feel just at the back of it, there used to be paperwork or something stored on top at one point, and I'm feeling stuff just falling down, okay? So they're just sort of bringing that forward. They also sort of say with yourself, sorry, someone spiritual has got really bad lisp. So,
don't know.
I find it funny still. Everyone's thinking that bloke needs sexually, right? But then I keep getting told about the name Phil or Philip as well. Yeah? Okay. You know when I was talking about someone having a lisp or a whistling like
Right.
I keep being drawn to that. I'm not sure what that's about. I'll leave you to work out. Okay. You'll usually find as well, people with a nervous disposition, this is where everyone can listen in on this, they will whistle as they go into a room, or they will click.
Okay.
Right? It's to balance their own energy with the room, or to make sure it feels safe. Okay? That's what I do at the beginning. Right. Okay. I'm not going to get eaten alive. But they're just sort of referring to that, okay? They're also just, someone's suffered with their own mental state recently as well, okay? And it's not necessarily depression as such, but this sort of wanting or this needing to find themselves, okay? And they're just mentioning that. They also talk about a lady who had to be placed on Nilton Mount 4 days prior to her passing, okay? Because it feels like everything became such a struggle for her, and every time it's like I'm trying to, she's mentioned about food, it's like I can't handle that going down, okay? And she just says everything just hurt towards the end, and in a way it was not just a release, it was this peace being given to her, and she'd struggled for so long, but she mentioned someone held her hand towards the very end, okay? But it's like the ring she was wearing, either it became too loose on her before she passes, or someone took it off just after, okay? But she just sort of said she tried to keep as much dignity as what she could, but she struggled. She does mention someone on the earth had a catheter fitted as well, okay? I'm not sure who she refers to, but just be aware of it, okay? She was such, it's very rare for me to turn around and say, someone comes across very, very genuine. Yeah. But this lady was about as genuine as you could get, okay? She called a spade a spade. She would say life how it is. She's witnessed not just what you're doing good at the moment, she's witnessed where you've been trying to help other people and get them really on the straight and narrow again. She talks about not a family member, a friend, a child linking to a friend who went slightly off kilter, okay? She also mentions that person ended up with a caution or something like that where you would have helped or assisted, okay? And she says, thank you for all that was done. There's one thing which is quite strange. I'm just trying to work out where it places, because it's not a suicide vibration. She brings forward where there was more an attempted murder, that type of connection. So I need you to look with inside the family for that if you're not directly aware, okay? It doesn't feel with inside your family, but with inside the outer, okay? So just be aware of that. Because they bring anything through just to let you know that they're there. They also mention where I'm seeing like angel figurines with inside someone's home. That's a funny way of saying it. Right, okay. She mentions the fact that you don't just have a strong guide team connected around yourself, but you've also got a lot of love or loved ones with inside it as well, okay? And that's why this lady blends between family, friendships and everything, okay? But what we'll do is I'll leave their love and leave their respect with you. Okay, right. This is my bit of fun time now. If I can work with yourself there, okay? Right. I am going to be working on multiple connections all at the same time, okay? So it'll be a case if I'm pointing at you, then just sort of, it'll be aware that I'm actually connecting with yourself there. I am going to be working with you two, okay? So just be aware of that, and I do want to work with the gentleman there as well, okay? So the way this is actually going to work, I'm only picking 3 tonight. You can go up to 6, after that I'll pass out. But the way it's actually going to work is I'm going to be working really, really quickly. So anyone who hasn't been able to keep up with how quick I talk already, you're going to really struggle, okay? So I do apologise if you're thinking, please don't run. But what I'll do is, one thing I do when I train people as well is point out you should be able to have a communication of spirit within 30 seconds from start to finish plus message. Okay? So this is where I prove my point. Okay. Right.
What is this, speed messaging?
Very, very quick messaging, but it's going to be working between the two, so I'm going to be just splitting the messages up, linking between, so if I'm pointing at you, then I'm working with you, okay? Right. First of all, I'm actually going to be working around yourself first of all, okay? I do have a gentleman's energy coming really, really close around yourself at the moment. He talks about the fact that you've needed not just strength within inside your own life recently, it feels like you've been trying to rebalance everything which has been going on around yourself. It's like that physical draining as well, where you're feeling really worn out from everything which is going on. I am going to be sort of working with yourself. I do have a lady's energy which is around yourself first of all. As she comes forward, she don't just point out that she's there. She says you always know she's there. You speak to her on a regular basis. She thanks you for being there at the end of her own life. She mentions the fact that 2 people with inside the own family connection were unable to actually get there at the time. She mentions the fact that when she passes, she mentions that around the 6 o'clock time, so I'm aware of that also. She also mentions the gentleman is found asleep fallen, so I know I'm hunched over with the gentleman who takes us past the spirit side. Okay, I'll leave you there for a second. Right, around yourself, okay? I've got 2 people coming forward all at the same time around you, okay? And it's just to let you know that they're there. They talk about someone having problems around their hip area as well recently, and they just say that they've been tears around the family, not with you directly, but with it around the family within the last 3 days, okay? So they mention this. I'll just hold you there for a second. As this gentleman was around yourself, he says that you've been trying to advise people so they're not going down the same road you walked, okay? Because they're saying that if I could go back a few years with you, you'd understand where it's like, across the road, it's got that type of feel to it, okay? Because you had to go through the dark to find the light at the end of the tunnel, okay? And because of that, that's what you're working with now. You're finding that true strength and that connection around yourself. And it's came at a point of great loss, which has mean you've got great gain coming, okay? So just be aware of that. They also talk about trial separation with inside the family as well. So this is where children would be removed and then they'll come back into your life later. So just be aware of that also. Back over to here. Right, as they were coming forward around yourself, they did mention that someone's had difficulties around their knees recently as well. So just be aware of that. I'm also aware of the name Bob Robert coming forward back around. So just be aware of that name as that comes forward around you. So they're just letting you know that 1, they're here, and 2, they're doing all they can. They mentioned someone still wears a lady's ring spirit side as well. Okay? So take their love, take their respect, and I'll leave it there with yourself. Right. Hi. Right. Okay. As they were bringing all that connection around yourself at the moment, they talk about the stress, which is not just being around you slightly, but you should understand where I'm getting pains running down my shoulders, even to the point that I'm feeling it with inside my own hands at this moment. They're also talking about he rattled the keys, so you were the lost keys recently, okay? Or you'd understand where the keys have been misplaced. Right. Just be aware of that. Everything happens for a reason, right? Okay. Final sort of thing with yourself is they just talk about that now you're at that point where everything should be done for helping other people move forward. And that seems to be what's going on around yourself. There's still you trying to work out whether you've done everything right for the people who pass spirit side as well. Because it's like you're trying to remake amends. But first of all, I do have to point out that someone judged you wrong and they apologise for it. So I'll leave their love and leave their respect with you all.